Hey, how you doing? This is Jay with Bikes Kill Cancer, coming at you from Denver, Colorado, in our Unicorn Studios. You know what sucks? Getting a flat tire. And guess what? If you're new to cycling, like so many people have become in 2020 as we make our way through this COVID pandemic, it's probably going to be the first mechanical that you have to deal with. And there's nothing worse than a flat tire. Well, actually there is. Not knowing how to change a flat tire. If you have a flat tire, it's not a big deal if you know how to change the tire. So we're going to dig into that today. Two-part video. Part one is all about identifying the type of tube that you're going to need and then how to safely and correctly remove your wheel from your bike so that you can change that tire. Hope you liked the video. Give us a like, give us some comments, give us a subscribe. That would be really appreciated. And looking forward to bringing more of this for it to you. All right, before we get started, let's make sure that we have the right tools that we need to change a flat successfully. First up, we're going to need bike tubes, or a bike tube. We'll come back to these and talk a little bit about how to find the right size. Tire levers, that's going to help us get our tire off of our rim. A patch kit, if you don't have a tube. Some type of pump, either a floor pump or a hand pump. Floor pump's going to be easier and faster. And some nice to haves, a pair of gloves and a shop rag just for keeping your hands clean. In figuring out which tube you need, there's a couple of things that we need to figure out. First, do you have a Presta or a Schrader valve? We're also going to want to know the tire size. Generally, road and cyclocross tires are measured in millimeters. Mountain bike tires are measured in inches. You want to look for two numbers, the diameter and the width. It's also a good idea to go ahead and check out the tire pressure for your tire. Now that we have some basic information about our tire, we can make sure that we're getting the right tube. This first tube is designed for a tire that is 27.5 inches or 27.5. The width is for any tire between 2.1 and 2.35 inches. And it uses a Presta valve. All the information is always going to be on the box, and you just want to try to correspond it to your tire. This next one is for a road bike or a road tire. It's a 700 by 25 to 30 C. Don't let the C confuse you. Just remember that road tires are generally referred to in millimeters and mountain bike tires in inches. In order to get that tube into the tire, we're going to have to get the wheel off. So we're going to take a look at how to remove a through axle wheel, a wheel that's been bolted on, found in a lot of beach cruisers and kids bikes. And we'll also take a look at the quick release, which is slowly being replaced by the through axle, but still very common in a lot of bikes. We'll also look at how to remove the front wheel, as well as some tricks for removing the rear wheel. Neither one is hard to remove, but again, it's always nice to have a couple of tricks up your sleeve to make it as easy as possible to get the wheel off, and then just as important, to get it back on later. All right, let's talk about removing that front wheel. First up, we're going to look at a standard rim braked wheel with a standard quick release. Before we even think about taking the wheel off, we need to open up the brakes. We're going to do that by just squeezing the calipers or the arms together and lifting up on that brake cable. Did you see that? Super easy, lots of room to get it in and out. We'll reverse that when it's time to put the wheel back into the bike. It's also possible that your bike could be equipped with caliper style brakes. These are super easy. Just flip the lever up on the side to open up the brake pads, flip it back down when you need to close them. All right, let's get that wheel off. So traditionally, the quick release will be on the left side of the bike. And to open it up, all we do is just pull down. But wait, it's not coming out. That's because modern day bicycles are equipped with safety tabs on the forks. So we need to loosen up that skewer a little bit more so that it'll drop past the safety tabs. Turn, 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 and voila. Removing the rear wheel has a couple extra steps we need to make sure that we take care of. First, make sure that you've shifted down into your small chainring in the front, so your easiest gear. And then in the rear, you want to make sure that your chain has shifted all the way down to the smallest cog. So remember, small chainring, small cog. And just like on your front tire or front wheel, the quick release will be located on the left-hand side of the bicycle. Now that we have the chain shifted into the small chain ring and the small cog, the process is pretty much the same. We undo the brakes, and then we will flip open the quick release. And unlike the front fork, there are no safety tabs in the rear, so the rear wheel should just drop right on out, and voila, your rear wheel is off. The process to put it back on is just the opposite. You want to line up that small cog with the chain, make sure that the quick release is in the right position, tighten it back up, and then retighten the brakes. Through axles work a lot like a quick release, but with a twist. Also, remember when working with disc brakes, don't touch the rotor. They're sharp, and the oils from your finger can actually damage them. First up, open up the quick release on the through axle and start spinning it to the left. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Continue to spin, and eventually you should be able to pull the entire axle out. Once it's been removed, the wheel should drop right out. The last thing we want to do after removing our wheel is make sure that we insert a disc brake wedge. This is a small plastic wedge that should have come with your bike. If not, ask your shop for one. It fits in between the calipers and keeps them from pressing together if you were to inadvertently grab the brake lever while the wheel was out. Let's take a quick look at how to take off a wheel attached with bolts. Generally, this is found on beach cruisers and kids' bikes. The process and tools are pretty simple. You're going to need two 15mm wrenches or two adjustable wrenches. Placing one on either side, loosen the nuts at the same time. Make sure that you're paying close attention to the washer placement on these nuts, as this can have dire consequences if you don't put them back correctly when replacing the wheel. Hey, hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully you've come away with knowing a couple things. One, you should know how to identify the correct tube for your tire. You should also be able to remove your wheel, front or rear, from your bike correctly, and know which tools that you're going to need to safely and correctly change a tire and tube on your bicycle. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to go work on creating part 2, which is all about how to actually change that tube in your tire. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back shortly.